Good morning, everyone. On this freezing London morning, just wanted to talk about, the nuclear family, or should I say the nuclear family, because what I've learned in my time growing up is that what may seem normal is a relative subjective thing. And as such, you could find yourself in a crazy village amongst crazy people, and you as the same person would appear crazy simply because you are the odd one out. Normal basically means consensus. So normal isn't necessarily good, nor is it necessarily bad. It all simply depends on how that quote unquote normal manifests. So when I was young, I remember, this is going back some years ago, probably less than 5 years ago, or about that anyway. And I used to go to a spiritual church. And in this particular spiritual church, there was a man, a very, very good man, very spiritually powerful man, quite young. I would say he was about 10 years above me. And he had a beautiful, young, small family, which was made up of about two, three, or even four kids. And what I later came to find out is that the gentleman and the lady that he was married to, they shared the kids, literally, because she had brought in a child from a previous relationship, and he took on the child as his own. And I remember just watching how the two of them interacted, because the church I went to was like a family, and it was very humbling for me, because I always felt at that time that I don't think I could ever do such a thing, to have such a big heart to take upon a child as your own, and a lady who has a child for that fact. So props to him. And I just found it very, very unconventional. And that's the key word here, unconventional. Because what isn't normal is unconventional, but it doesn't mean it's bad. And what I've now come to realize through wisdom and through the opening of my heart chakra, i.e., love, is that you can do anything, be it conventional or unconventional. But as long as it feels right and you are happy, it is right. It is good. So that's an epiphany I had. That's a revelation I had. And it just showed me how much I've grown in the years, in the 4 or 5 years from that time when I had those feelings about that gentleman and his family. And I now can imagine myself in such a situation, not because I would want to necessarily, but simply because I go with the flow now. And I understand that things are not necessarily meant to be the same for everyone and everything. And the key also, speaking of unconventional, is light work. Because as a light worker, you are going to be unconventional, and you are going to do unconventional things, because you are here to show people alternatives, an alternative way to living, an alternative way to abundance. That's your purpose. You're not meant to be normal. So however your family is set up, however you live, you can expect it to be unconventional if you are a true light worker. And if you actually honor that role and take on that role as your own, you will show people new ways. You will give people new ideas. You'll give people inspiration, and you'll spark them like plugs. And you'll be doing your light work, literally lighting up everyone. So that's just something for you to think about today as you get on your mundane daily life. How are you going to do your light work? How are you going to live unconventionally so that others can learn? Not so that they can follow you, but just so they can see that there is other ways to living. There is other ways to happiness. You notice what I just did there? I even said there is. I was meant to say there are, but I'm using incorrect grammar deliberately, whether you believe me or not. And I'm joking, but I'm sliding that in because it fits well. I'm using the wrong grammar because I'm being unconventional. So rather than saying there are other ways, I'll say there is other ways, because you still understand me at the end of the day. So do you understand those people who are unconventional? Do you understand those people who you judge because you don't understand how they live? You have to think about these things. I'll give you some examples just to sign off in regards to light work and particular light workers and how they do their light work. Look at a very controversial one, who is really an archetypal light worker in my opinion, Brother Polite. Now, Brother Polite, who is a Leo like myself, he of course stirs a lot of controversy simply by the way he lives, because he lives very unconventionally. And if you go to his playlist on my channel, you'll actually see a particular aspect in his natal chart that actually makes him live unconventionally, particularly where it comes to love and the fact that he has multiple partners and he lives a polygamous lifestyle, or, you know, the rest of it. You can do the research on YouTube even and you'll find out. But he's an example. Just by the way he lives, he triggers people's jealousy, he triggers people's envy, he triggers people's discomfort, because they're now pushed out of their comfort zone just by being aware and witnessing this gentleman's lifestyle. That is light work. Light work isn't doing any, airy-fairy stuff, hocus-pocus stuff, although it can. Light work can be anything, big or small, relevant or irrelevant. So just by Brother Polite living the life he lives with his wives, he is doing light work, because he is showing us that, hey, you can live a different way, or you can be happy and not be living in the way others live. So it will make you now think, how can I gain my true happiness that is authentic, regardless whether it fits into the mold of society or not? Another example is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is a rapper. And just by the way he lives, by the way he looks, all the tattoos, all the piercings, all of this and that, his clothing style, his rap alone, the way he thinks outside the box, his lyrical wordplay, he is doing light work. He has definitely done light work for me. And that's why I've made a few references to him in the past, because I definitely acknowledge and I'm definitely aware of the light work that he has done and is doing. So these two characters, for example, they are light workers. Whether you judge them or not, whether you agree with the way they live, whether you agree with the way they talk, they look, whatever, they are light workers. So who are you to judge? You see, this universe is very colorful and interesting, so you're not going to have straight-laced light worker necessarily, not in this day and age, as we go into the Aquarian age, which is Neptunian. You're going to have a lot of Neptunian characters doing Neptunian things. And I believe Brother Polite's aspect involves Neptune in regards to his polygamy. So just check out the playlist on my channel. But remember, folks, you are the nuclear family. The nuclear family is old, but we are the new clear family. So we now set the trend. Just remember that. Have a good day, folks. Peace. Let me show you my face. Peace. Nuclear family. Nuclear family. Wake up every day telling yourself that, and decide how you are going to live your life abundantly. Peace.